Okay, here we are. I'm down in Maricopa, Arizona. Today is unloading and unstaging of one of my listings. Hey, for those of you agents with RE/MAX, this listing came as a result of meeting a really wonderful agent who at R4 2 years ago, I met her at the Welcome Squad. See, being of service actually does fall into that principle of giver's gain. So, wonderful, wonderful thing. I was entrusted to take care of the needs and listing of this young lady's, RE/MAX agent's young lady's mom and dad. And they were the original owners of this house, and then it was time for them to move on into Prescott. Okay, so we were able to get them connected with another RE/MAX agent up in Pine Top for the sale of their cabin up there, and I was able to get them in touch with a wonderful agent up in Prescott. So there were many deals that took place from that one meeting. Important. Okay, so here I just wanted to do a little bit of a walkthrough with you guys to let you know how I staged the place, because this is the last time I'm going to see it staged, and it was a successful staging. We're in Maricopa, where we have a lot of new construction, and in that affordable price range in the mid 300s up to 400,000. Well, I've got a slow connection. It's going to be spotty, but so the resale market has a hard time competing, but we figured out the right formula and we got it done. I want to show you a few of the things I do. At the signposts, I have this wonderful guy named Eric Miller who creates these great sign writers for me. Capture this in a screenshot and then scan it and look at it. It shows you kind of the introduction that I have on my listings. So you sellers and those of you who are referring sellers out here, I want to make sure that the seller gets as much opportunity and as many eyes on the property as possible. As we know, agents, a lot of times it's the neighbors who bring a buyer. And if you can introduce yourself to the neighbors through something as a little video on a QR code on the top of your sign writer, it makes a difference. Okay, that's my face. For compliance with our commissioner rules here, RE/MAX Prime in Paradise Valley, one of the questions that I was asked by these folks when I was being interviewed is, if I'm from Paradise Valley, which is about 45 minutes north of here, what the hell am I doing in Maricopa? Well, I've worked the Maricopa market for many years. Many agents know that I was working relocation accounts for a long, long time. And when in doing that, you go where the client tells you to go. You go where the client's employer tells you to go. So that included Kohler, that included Tyson Foods, Amazon, Google was coming. I don't know if they ever followed through or not. H&R Block, lots of private companies. So I got to know the whole valley, and that's what got me all over the whole county. And right now we're actually in Pinal County, northern Pinal County. And I have my office up in Maricopa County. But the reason they asked is because it was a good question. What the hell is an agent from Metro Phoenix doing in Maricopa? Well, here's what I told her. Because I've worked in a lot of these communities, because I work outside of communities, I'm also an agent that brings a perspective that is different than the bubble that agents have a tendency to get into when they're working very micro-focused. Okay, it's important to work local, and it's important to be a local expert. And as much as I've worked around the county, I could consider myself very well informed for many of the communities in Metro Phoenix. I shared with her a story that I had on a listing up in North Phoenix, up in the desert, horse country, right? The average price for an acre of land that had well water attached and all the services there was quite low. And so what I did is I went on this tour, and all these people were telling me I was overpriced. But what I knew that they didn't know is that the bubble next to them, which was out in Queen Creek and Cave Creek and North Scottsdale, the price per acre was going up. And the investors who like to have like a 13% investment on land, that number was creeping up. They couldn't build there anymore. They couldn't acquire land. So they were coming westward. Where was my property located? Westward of that bubble. And what did we do? We got a price that blew the wigs off of every single one of those ladies that was on that tour. I set a new standard. And sometimes that's what you have to do. It's not always about working with a hyper-local agent. It's working with somebody who has a general knowledge of the area, as well as has the skill set to understand what's happening around it and how to get your problem solved. Your real estate problem to get solved when you're selling is to get your house sold. So, same thing happened here. I had an amazing year last year. I attracted some of the most amazing agents, so this is no exception. We had a wonderful buyer's agent on this property. Buyers and sellers, there's a triad. There's a triangle that I like to follow, and I like to gauge the potential success of a transaction, and I like to coach you folks, members of the public, to understand that there's 3 points that must be met in order for there to be proper success in any listing sale or any listing buy transaction. Number 1, if you're a buyer, you want an excellent seller's agent. You want an excellent price, and you want a great seller. If one of those things are missing, you're going to have trouble. The same thing is true as if you're a buyer. If you're a buyer, you want to have your agent identify a property that's the right property, the right price, and with that property, a great seller. You want that seller to be great. You want that agent to be great. You want the price to be great. If one of those things is missing, you're kind of screwed. It's not going to be fun. Okay, so with that, let's get in. That was my education moment. Let's get into the move. I went with Budget. I love them. They were so much easier to work with than their competitors, and sometimes that's why I get the job, because Remax is so easy to work with. Remax Prime out of Paradise Valley. Dennis Roswell's the broker. Forgot to do that in the beginning, but let's back up here. So I had the excellent seller, and I had the great property. This place is 3 bedrooms with a den. So out here in Arizona, even if it doesn't have a closet, it can be considered a bedroom, so long as its proximity is close enough to a full bathroom. 3-car garage. These were the original owners. They're the type of people that if it didn't need to be fixed, they'd fix it anyway, just because the standard might be paint your house every 5 years. And so they did. So that's what we have. They maintain the house in a really great way. I always like to put a nice welcome mat that kind of sets the stage. So what I like to tell people about this house is that we see very similar floor plans up in the Pinnacle Peak area of North Scottsdale, built to different standards, different standards and finishes. But the floor plan, we sold this at $350,000. Up in Pinnacle Peak, probably 1.2 to 1.8 million, depending on all the amenities. So Maricopa has its draw. So what did we do? When we came in here, everything was original paint. This was the original floor. There was carpet in these areas where I put in the luxury vinyl. I had the place painted. So I added in some colors to help emphasize depth and perception. We painted the arches kind of an olivey green. We brought in this other lighter green here and here, and did this color, the same color as the arches, and then the back panel in the niche, that same color. And this is what it created. It created a sense of drawing you in. And I needed these people that came and saw this house to be drawn in. When you have architectural details, you can address them subtly with paint. And that subtlety helps to enhance the idea that this is a custom home. Okay? This was a production home. But we addressed all these little details with taste. I bought and paid for the curtains because we needed to have some curtains in here. These are linen curtains from IKEA, simple rods, very easy. I put that fake leaded glass window film in because this would have been a difficult window to address. So we just put an obscured film on it and made a difference. All the furniture in here I own. I had my handyman put in a new light fixture here. Change out all the light bulbs to the same kind of LED recessed light so we have even light. Here's that den I was telling you about. We painted the wall on that end the same color as the color of the arches, and then that green niche over there, and that helped bring the color all the way through. Good Lord. I mean, this is just an accumulation of furniture that I've had and I've carried around for a long time from home to home. Buy quality and buy frugally. Like this set of tables, one of my favorite places to shop for staging furniture is American Furniture Warehouse. It is an enormous facility and a lot of options. And you just have to be careful about what you spend your money on. I think I spent $357, if I remember correctly, for the sofa. Super cute. It's been in multiple houses and helped sell multiple houses. It's going to another house, and I'm sure it will help sell that one. This set of 3 tables, I think, was $230. The cabinet I splurged for $350. I bought these olive trees from Temu. They actually came out pretty good. Lamps from Home Goods. This table I bought on Facebook Marketplace for $50. Cost me $150 to move it down here, but it's worth it because look, you have this great focal point right as you walk in. Nice niche. This is a custom piece of collected pottery from a client of mine. I love those people, John and Susan. They were out here and sold 2 properties with me a couple years ago, and this is one of the nice gifts that they left for me from the contents of the house. It's a piece of raku pottery. It was perfect for the space, perfect for the curly willow, even though the curly willow has had better days. Let's get a tour. This is Frida. It's a piece by my good friend, internationally collected artist, R.D. Riccoboni out of San Diego, California. I can't afford his originals. I cannot afford his originals, but I can afford his production pieces. This one I got from him through one of his resale or production sources. I believe it was Great Big Canvas. Speaking of Great Big, look at the size of this kitchen. 8-in area, island, huge area, U-shaped kitchen with black granite countertops. This is black absolute granite. Why do I know the name? Because I've been doing construction and specifications since I was 18 years old. And that was about 42 years ago. They didn't have to really do much in here. These people were so clean. We added some knobs to the hardware, or hardware to the cabinets. It just helped kind of customize the kitchen and break up the expanse of the spice finish on the maple cabinets. This wall was painted blue. We got rid of the blue. I had my handyman put in a new fan. Through the process, we needed to address the glass above the old television niche. That's what it was, because the televisions used to be in there, in those things, rather than out on a wall, like we would typically see it nowadays. Pardon me. Let's see. Again, Facebook Marketplace, $125. At home, if you have an at home in your community, $45 for this big rug. Same thing, table set, that little chair. Let's see, that was American Furniture Warehouse. This table was left from a client that I helped when they moved out here from New York. And they bought in Clean Creek during COVID. My God, was it a hard time helping those folks get a home. It was insane. It was at the height of things selling so quickly and not being able to actually go in and see homes. It was from a home that we were able to sell or get matched to the client remotely. It was video, lots of video. And now they've moved back to where they came from, and this table didn't suit them, but the one that I'd bought for their home for staging did, so that went back home to back east with them. Little things picked up. Again, at home. Home goods for the glass. Cheap stuff, $14, I think $22. Most of the artwork is stuff that's been collected. It's production art because I don't want to put expensive original art into a house. Let's finish out this wing. So this is a split floor plan. The den is here, goes through a hallway to a shared bath. Actually, this is the hall bath. Shower curtains. People, shower curtains when you're staging a home. If it doesn't have one, get one. Put it in. It softens the space. Do something that's calming. If you've got a bright, loud, crazy one, maybe torch it and get something like that. Nice and easy. This is an original piece of artwork here by a beautiful lady named Pat Hopper from Fresno, California. She was a potter. This and another one were corbels from a fireplace that were custom made in a home in Fig Garden Village. And the people that had bought the house were tearing out this original fireplace by Pat Hopper. And the young man that had these 2 corbels, he had salvaged them. And I met him at Chesterfield's antique shop. And I was telling him about how I was looking for the hall bunny. If you're from Fresno, California, you know Pat Hopper's work. She did a butler bunny that would stand at the entry. And it was just super cool. I'm still looking for one of those. But Anyway, he told me he had these two, so I bought them. And so I have two original matching Pat Hopper frogs. I love them. They are fun. They just kind of give that little nice extra thing. Okay, towels. Some accessories that were here by the owner. Sometimes you don't have to furnish a room. I just put a llama at the end of the hallway just to make people smile. Give people something to smile about when you're staging a home. Give them something to laugh about. Give them something to think about when they're in the car and they're driving around and they've looked at 14 homes and they tell their agent, I liked the home with the llama in the bedroom at the end of the hall. I liked the home with the great big tufted ottoman. You're not going to find too many of those out here. Made by Cisco Brothers. I've had that one for years. They're out of LA. I liked the home that had the big round fixture. I liked the home that had the orange vase. Give people something to latch on to, okay? Back to the tour. Washer and dryer are staying. 3-car garage out there. A garage is a garage. The White Rabbit makes an appearance in almost all my homes. And then I had this big Cal-King bed that I needed to get staged somewhere. So I brought it into this home. This is such an enormous bedroom. We put in the fan. I paid for and brought in the curtains. The clients put in the new carpet, which is beautiful, and that plank flooring that you saw. That was done by, oh gosh, I wish I could, Empire Flooring. Oh my gosh, I've got a great rep for them. They did such a great job. They were so wonderful to work with. Empire Flooring. I'll get you the guy's name. You'll want to work with him if you're out here in Metro Phoenix. Let's see. We put in new blinds. I put in the curtains. I'm shaking. I had a Coke for lunch. Now I'm shaking. I don't do that too often. Let's see. Lamps off Facebook Marketplace. This is a blow-up mattress. That's why it's sinking in the middle. Get some designer pillows. Get the down and feather. You know, just quality, people. You know, it might cost $10 more for a quality pillow. Just do it, because when people sit down, like over here, let me go back here. I want to show you something. When people sit on a sofa, they want to feel relaxed. So when you sit down on a sofa and you have a down and feather insert, it molds to your body, okay? And that feels good. When you've got those things that are just fiber fill, I don't know, it reads low. Don't do it. Get the down and feather fillers, okay? I like to layer the beds. I think that's important. You want something that you'd like to see in a magazine, right? So textures, multiple patterns, curated, creatively done, texture pattern. It all makes a difference. $12.99 for the rug at home. And then just, gosh, you know, address your bathrooms. If you need color, do something where colors are neutral. Texture. Like this bathroom needs an update. It's clear it needed an update. So what we did is we helped make it feel sumptuous. I made it feel more spa-like. So candles, flowers. Closets. What do you do with closets? Okay, so in this closet, we didn't have the budget to fully paint the entire house. So some things like the shelves didn't get painted. So what do? I bring in these black fuzzy hangers. I get them from Costco or wherever I can get them. And I just kind of intermittently space them. And it gives people something to look at rather than that. Okay? Little piece of artwork, so what? The box from the blow-up mattress, an extra pillow, an extra shower curtain. Things that I don't feel like putting in the car and taking home with me. That's what storage is for. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of information about how I stage homes, why I stage homes, what I look for, what for you to look for. One of the most important things. When you're getting ready to sell your house, think of the 5 senses. Smell, okay? Don't get those cheap ass things from the department or from the supermarket. It just smells like you're trying to cover up cat piss and smoke. They're awful and they get in your nose. And that's the only thing somebody can remember about your house. Go to Bath and Body Works. Wildflower scents. Okay, so these are $15 and they have a little thing where you can regulate the smell. Because you don't want to overload people. You just want to subtly give them a hint of, wow, this place smells great. And get a scent that people might recognize for the season. You can even get the scents, their version of the scents from those big brand stores in the mall that people recognize. Think about your prospect who's going to be buying this house and present to them in a way they're going to identify. So those, very important. Put them on the lowest setting. Space 2 or 3 in the house if you want to change the mood. I usually change the mood if I've got a house with this kind of floor plan. A scent back here in the primary area, a scent in the family room, a scent in the living room. If it's Christmas time or holiday season, I put in holiday scent so it hits you right when you walk through the door. You know, everybody loves that cinnamon scent or that pine scent, but don't put it right there. Move it around the corner. Okay, so scent, sight. A fresh paint job outside is a good thing. A clean doorstep with a great greeting at the door. First thing you'll see. That light fixture framed by those linen curtains over that beautiful round dining table. And people pause. And then they come in here and they look this way. And it's like, oh my God. Okay? So sight and sound. Touch, textures, all that bedding I put in there. People want to touch glass tops when they walk by. They want to touch the curtains of their linen and see how soft they are. They want to feel the fabrics. And you all know that none of this goes with the house, right? So just think about it when you're staging. Put that into your marketing budget. My standard marketing budget is about $1,500. I assess the home. If it's a home that needs a lot of blasting in it through tech, that's where the money goes. If it's a home like this in a community where people have to see it and experience it in order to compete in the market, then I do stuff like this, staging. So we did touch, smell, sight. Sound is a big one, hard to accomplish. Now here, we're lucky because we're in a migratory pattern and we get about 4 different varieties of dove, and most people like the sound of a dove cooing. So that's helpful. But when I do open houses, like here, I usually have a speaker connect to my connect to my Wi-Fi, my Bluetooth, and I typically have Ella Fitzgerald Cole Porter songbook or Frank Sinatra playing. Because people kind of get it, you know, it's a little snappy. Think hospitality. What do you do when you set up a party? Think about every open house like you're setting it up for a party and your guests want to be fully entertained. Do your open houses the same way. Do your listings and stagings the same way. Okay, so senses. I got sight, sound, smell, touch. What's the 5th one? Sight, sound. I can't remember the 5th sense. Watch, I'll think about it after I end this live. Text it in the bottom for me. What am I missing? What am I missing? But it's important that you hit and measure, hit, and address all 5 senses. Now, I want to share something else with you guys, too. Maricopa is a community that typically has had a lot of 55-plus snowbird people that buy and live here, retirees. That has shifted. We have so much industry coming in. We have a huge casino that's gone in at the south end of town. We have a brand new hospital right here around the corner from this community. And we have a fire station that's new right here in this community of Altera North. We're in Altera North. And so what that means, the elevation of the schools are going up and the educational rankings are going up here because there are younger people moving down here who are looking for affordable homes. And oftentimes, let's see, slow connection. Oftentimes that means that there's going to be kids, okay? So we have a renaissance taking place down here in Maricopa. There's a big resurgence. We have Home Depot and Lowe's that went in. And you know if that happens, Costco's coming next. So the affordability of Maricopa is probably going to change in the near future. I get notifications from new builders. There's a builder down here that's offering 3.29% rate buy down. Now, agents, you and I both know that they're going to pay for it somehow in the end, but in order to get in a home, it's the affordability to be able to get in a home. Get in the home, get a good interest rate, and then we'll help teach you how to structure your monthly payments to get that balance paid down quicker. Oh my gosh, I think I've used up all the air or the oxygen in this home. And the drapes are starting to shrivel up from lack of oxygen. I've got to get going on tearing this down. I think I'm going to be here the rest of the day. I'm going up to Sun City Grand, which is on the northwest corner of our MLS. So I've got a long day ahead. You guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys, as sellers, I hope you got something out of this. As people who are looking for a buyer's agent, I hope you got something out of this. For agents, God, I hope you guys got something out of this. We're at a point right now where we really need to level up our game. We really do. Okay? So if you need some help, want some advice, or want me to shut up, just let me know. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you joining me. This has been a wonderful project. I'm so grateful for the referral from Colorado Springs. Thank you so much to the sellers. Thank you, Dwight and Jackie. This has been just a lovely project to work in. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your faith and your trust and your kindness and your understanding in dealing with the market as we try to get your house sold. But we did it. We've done it. Okay. Everybody take care. Bless you and stay joyful.